I'm with Demu from Media Lab here at John Eel's house on Wenaki Island. And we're just going to go back to an event that took place along the trip where we met with North Tech and discussed a new e-learning design and development course that they've done, which is covering a lot of the Web 2 tools, blogs, wikis, podcasts, and the idea of a socially networked space to achieve specific learning outcomes. They have like a game-based approach, and they use the Moodle system, and the actual design of the course is seen to be like a journey whereby in a quite structured way they learn about such things as a blog and a podcast. And Demu is going to give us his perspective on that discussion.
Yeah, I think there was a sort of criticism for this on this course that people should just get into open blogging, Flickr, image sharing, video sharing environment and learn by doing things in there. But I think this is a matter of giving people the power to choose themselves. If you introduce in a closed, secure environment, like in this case in Moodle, these tools, they may decide that, yeah, I like it, I will jump into that level.
Yes.
Or they may choose that there's nothing for me, I don't want to share my life, I don't want to share my learning, and that's fine too.
Yes.
But then you give them to make the choice when do they jump from the secure, local, closed group into the open space.
Okay.
So I think this is like the important thing. It might sound like that, why do you teach them blogs and wikis, which are in most of the cases open space tools in a closed space.
Yes.
But I think it's a giving people the choice. That's the point in there.
Okay. And then the counterpoint was made that you can actually teach people how to jump straight into using like Flickr, for example, for sharing, but make it private.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, of course, there is a Flickr you can make it that it's only open for your friends or so. But I think that like I would like to think about that. I don't know how it's going to be in this course, but I would like to see that they build a real, quite secure trust community of their own,
right,
where they are struggling and finding out the ways and understanding the logics and even the politics and the economy and ecology of the whole new Web 2.0 or whatever we want to call it.
Small steps to openness?
More steps to openness, which they may end up to be that it's not good. It is fine. It's a good result and reasonable choice of individual to say that I don't want to share my images.
Yes. I
want to be with my family and work with my family on my profession or whatever.
Right. Okay.
So I think otherwise it would be like giving that this is good, you should do it, and you don't have any other choices.
Yes. I mean, like we have made a sudden transition to the concept of being open. Perhaps like that in terms of like an attitude that exists within education and society as a whole will develop over time. Yeah. But I take your point in terms of small steps.
Yeah.
Moving towards openness.
Small steps, but also a right for people to decide that I don't want to take any more steps.
Yes.
Because I don't see the benefits for me. It ends up to be that someone else is owning my data.
Yes.
Someone else is going to use my data. I don't want to do that. Yes. I want to be my quiet life in my little hut.
Yes.
And I'm happy there.
And a teacher should be able to, you're saying, facilitate the person who wants to immediately engage with the open world.
Yeah. But
and also those who don't.
Yeah. It's exactly the same thing as a person. You are right to say that please don't take a picture out of me because it takes my soul.
Yes.
And you don't have any contra-argument on that. If I have the belief that it takes my soul, you should respect it.
Yes.
And you don't take the picture.
So in the context of like the point was made, well, we can use Flickr and show people how to remain closed. That makes sense to me. But whenever it comes to like a learning management system like Moodle, the key point around that technology was the structured approach to the course,
Yeah.
taking people through
Yeah.
it. Do you have anything?
Well, I don't know. That I could also criticize the structure in the learning management systems, and I think Moodle kind of gives you opportunity to not to have structure in a way. Okay?
Yes.
You have certain activities and you have certain resources, but I think there's a different ways. There's a good to be like a planned activities. I would rather go with activities than with the content, which
Yes.
actually I think is the case with this course as well.
Yes.
They are all related to certain activities.
Yes.
And I think it helps people like I think people need leadership. They need someone to tell that, yeah, hey, let's now talk about blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Let's have, this is the agenda we have today,
Yes.
and then things are moving forward.
And do you think that you can cater for those who are autonomous and don't need leadership, and those who do need leadership in the same classroom?
I think you can, yeah, and I think you should have those in the same classroom because they
Yes.
can support each other. And I'm not saying that the autonomous learners who take the full responsibility of their learning necessarily get to the best results.
Yes.
Because in learning you got to be quite humble. You got to be ready to say that I don't know everything, and I'm very novice in this area of topic, and I want to develop myself. And I think often certain people who think that they are very anonymous self-learners don't have this humble opinion on knowledge and information.
So openness.
It's like we're about to do, sorry, right there.
Yeah, sure.
Keep going there. Openness, open mind, and structure. Closed environment, open mind as well.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that with this Moodle, of course, if there is someone who says that, hey, the blogs are great, I will jump into the blogs now and want to work on my course in this open space, and it should say, great, that's a good idea.
Yes.
Go for it.
From